This past weekend, you probably saw some of the wall-to-wall Hurricane Irma reporting. It was mostly inane, vapid coverage like this.
You know, wind, you can hunker in. You can surround yourself with couch cushions, you know, if you can find a brick structure. We all learned that from the story of the big bad wolf. The people who live in the straw and the stick houses are usually banging on the doors of people who live in stone structures like this.
Literally dumbing the American populace down to nursery rhymes. Seriously, there was very little mention of climate change or ecological collapse. You know, people often say that we're the frogs, right, in the slowly boiling pot of water. But we're worse. We're frogs in a slowly boiling pot of water with frog reporters standing there going, "It's getting kind of warm in here. I can feel a little sweat on my brow. Officials have said stay in your homes until it's not so boily out here," okay? So I decided to fix the corporate media's idiotic hurricane coverage. If you look all around here, that's where we're fucked, here and there. The wind's really picking up. My face hurts a lot now. And if you look to the left, you'll see this is what fucking climate change looks like. Hurricane Irma is the strongest Atlantic hurricane ever recorded outside the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean Sea. It is, dude, a dog just flew by. It maintained 185-mile-per-hour winds for the longest duration ever recorded. It prompted perhaps the largest evacuation ever in the U.S. Just 2 weeks ago, Hurricane Harvey was the largest rain event to ever hit the continental United States. The wildfire in Los Angeles 1 week ago was the largest LA fires ever recorded. And this July tied last July for the hottest. Does my hat look okay? Because I was worried earlier. It's the hottest ever recorded on the planet. Our planet is turning into a fucking disaster, and it's thanks to fossil fuels and unfettered capitalism. We have to rethink our entire society. But since we in the media won't even mention the reality of the situation, we are basically murdering future generations. We are almost literally watching our children and grandchildren burn and drown in the wrath of climate change. I don't know how any of us sleep at night, even if you don't have the prostate problems that I do that keep me up all night. Jesus, sweet Mary! A baby just hit me in the hand! That was a human baby! That's what our hurricane coverage should look like. Instead, our corporate media rarely talks about climate change. And when they do, it's part of a debate about whether it's real or not. Well, we've had NASA scientists tell us we're screwed. Now, let's give equal time to a French fry cook from White Castle who says it's fake. On top of that, our politicians are literally passing laws against doing anything about climate change. In 2012, a new law was passed in North Carolina banning coastal towns from preparing for sea level rise. What does that even mean? What is it? Are you not allowed to get on your tippy toes? And in Florida, Governor Rick Scott banned the term climate change from being used. Watch Florida's emergency manager being mocked for not being able to say the words climate change.
What were those words you were using?
I used climate change, but I'm suggesting that maybe as a state we use atmospheric reemployment. That might be something that the governor could get behind.
We'll require that future versions of our mitigation plan will be required to have language discussing that issue.
What issue is that?
The issue that you mentioned earlier regarding...
Yeah, it's that bad. I'm surprised Florida got hit by Irma, since normally banning science works like a charm. Like when the church imprisoned Galileo for saying the Earth orbited the sun, and then afterwards the Earth cut that shit out. It did. No, that's how it works, you fucking cavemen shitheads! It's science! It's fucking science, okay? And we're all gonna die so that you can make a buck from big oil, so you can have 3 houses and did 6 cars and 7 kids by 5 wives? Fuck you. And let's be clear, Donald Trump is a remedial twit. He is. But this is not his fault. We have known about this impending destruction for decades. The fossil fuel companies knew, and yet we subsidized them to the tune of trillions of dollars. Shell Oil even made a video 25 years ago that they then suppressed.
Our energy-consuming way of life may be causing climatic changes with adverse consequences for us all.
Now, I'm not saying that would have beat Jurassic Park at the box office, but the point is they knew that video was real, and fossil fuel has spent billions funding climate denial bullshit. Now our entire government is made of big oil. Donald Trump made the head of ExxonMobil his Secretary of State. Hillary Clinton flew around the world promoting fracking as Secretary of State. Obama laid more oil pipeline than any of them. George W. Bush invaded other countries just for oil. The entire corporate state is an oil and gas orgy with everybody just sucking and fucking each other, and they don't even turn around to find out whose foot is in their crack. What's that, Kissinger? What is it? What is that, Kissinger back there? Kissinger, I hardly know her. And they don't care. They don't care. And you know why they don't care? Because the poor suffer the most and the soonest from climate change. They can't afford to replace their homes or their lives or buy new cars when their insurance doesn't cover it. And by the way, of course, the insurance isn't going to cover it. They never cover shit. They just, oh, no, you didn't, on the initial application, you didn't put that your car smelled like cat urine, and that's a pre-existing condition. I'm sorry. So yeah, we don't cover that in the case of flooding, but we will give you this free stress reliever right here. You can just squeeze that every time you think about how you lost your cat piss car. That's right. Squeezy, squeezy. The poor suffer the most. Amid recent global flooding, more than 1,400 people in South Asia are dead, and tens of millions more have been affected by monsoon rains. The worst flooding in 100 years has left 1/3 of Bangladesh submerged. In Nepal, almost 500,000 people are food insecure. Meanwhile, the rich, after profiting off of this catastrophic system, are largely not in trouble. In fact, many profit off of the newfound disasters. And here's the most maddening thing about this. The solutions are here. The answers to our energy and environmental problems are already, they already exist. Wind, solar, tidal, geothermal. You just strap a car battery to Chris Matthews' jowls, I'm pretty sure we'd be fine. The answers are already there. The delay between proven solutions and their application in the real world gauges the ability of the socioeconomic system to adapt properly. If the social order can't incorporate them to further ecological balance, improve public health, solve problems, and increase prosperity, then there is a structural problem inherent. Let me rephrase that. If we have the solutions to the destruction we're seeing, and we don't use them, then we're out of our goddamn minds, all right? We're going around the bend. We've lost it. We made Kanye West on a bad day look like Deepak Chopra on propofol, all right? We aren't switching fast enough to these solutions because we have abandoned the pursuit of a well-functioning world for the pursuit of money. Meaningless dollar bills will kill all of us. And only 8% of the world's currency exists as physical cash. So it's not even a physical thing. It's a thought. It's in our heads. Like the placebo effect or the difference between Democrats and Republicans or the meaning behind sports, all right? It's imaginary. I mean, the answers are here. We, the people, just have to demand them. Do not support or vote for any politician who is funded by big oil. Block the pipelines. Put the solar panels in. It's time for a new fucking world, and our lubed up, oily politicians can have their elite orgies, but it's about